Hi, my name is Ellie Dolliver, and today we're talking about light and space in the cinema of South Korea. Most Western audiences will be familiar with South Korean cinema through the success of Bong Joon-ho's Parasite, which made film history last year when it became the first non-English language film to win Best Picture at the Oscars, garnering universal acclaim for how it dealt with its themes of poverty and social polarization using cinematic language. The story deals with inequality in South Korea through the lives of two families from opposite ends of the social ladder, the Kims and the Parks. Bong says the film has to do with polarization, a very real issue in South Korea. The 1997 financial crisis devastated the South Korean economy, shaking the country to its core. Many ordinary people lost their jobs, resulting in the drastic shrinking of the middle class and a growing distance between the haves and the have-nots. Before 1997, 70 to 80% of Koreans believed they belonged to the middle class, but after the financial crisis that figure had shrunk to just 28%. Experts say this social polarization has undermined the social fabric, generating a drastic increase in suicide, family dissolution, and social distrust. Parasite cleverly depicts this social polarization through the use of light and space. Bong shows his protagonists, the Kims, as being physically as well as socially subordinate to the rest of Korean society. They live in a cramped sub-basement apartment called banjaha in Korean, where they are metaphorically placed on a level with the filth and sewerage of the city. As they climb the social ladder through their elaborate deception of the Park family, their physical status also rises. At moments that precipitate the family's downfall back to their lower economic status, the characters can be seen physically descending. Film theorists say no component of mise-en-scène is more important than the drama and adventure of light. In moments where the Kims move up in the world, the mise-en-scène becomes more spacious and luminous. When the Parks are drawn into the Kims' deception, the frame is cast in symbolic, gloomy, low-key lighting. And just when we think things can't get any worse, the discovery of the Parks' hidden basement symbolises the lowest of the low through a complete absence of natural light and claustrophobic winding passageways. Space is a valuable resource in Seoul, and it's significant that the Kims are found in cramped and cluttered spaces while the Parks enjoy the ultimate luxury, a large private garden. But Bong Joon-ho was not the only South Korean filmmaker to use cinematic language like this to express themes of poverty and social polarization. Sky Castle and Booning are two South Korean exports that cleverly use natural light and space to express themes of social inequality and polarization. Sky Castle is a popular South Korean drama that revolves around the lives of the Korean elite and their blind determination to get their children into the top universities in Korea. SKY is an acronym for the three most prestigious universities: Seoul National University, Korea University, and Yonsei University, and the competition to get into these universities is incredibly tough. Young-mi Kim says privilege, entitlement, and abuse are widespread and lie at the very top of the Korean political and economic system, and status, power, and inequality are the predominant themes in Sky Castle. The show uses clever cinematic devices to illustrate the lives of those on top of the social pyramid. The protagonists of Sky Castle live in an exclusive gated community which is characterized by large airy spaces, a physical manifestation of the opportunities open to these characters through their wealth and status. In contrast, when we catch a glimpse into the world of the less privileged in Sky Castle, these spaces are defined by a winding, cramped mise-en-scène. The metaphorical restriction here is symbolic for the lack of options available to these people. A similar motif can be seen in the 2018 film Booning by Lee Chang-dong. Lee's films are known for being introspective and socially aware, and Booning offers a valuable insight into the difficulties faced by young people in Korea, particularly into youth unemployment, which has only worsened since the financial crisis. The plot revolves around the competition between two very different men for the affections of a troubled young woman named Hayami. The rivals represent two very different sides of Korea. Lee Jong-soo is our protagonist and represents rural South Korea. An unemployed young man with a degree in creative writing, Lee is forced to return to the family farm after his father is imprisoned for assault. On the other hand is Ben, a mysteriously wealthy figure who Lee Jong-soo likens to Jay Gatsby from the F. Scott Fitzgerald novel. Ben's work is ambiguous, but his urban lifestyle is lavish, and the two men represent the distance between some South Koreans. This is South Korea divided into those who have, like Ben and his friends, and those who do not have, like Jong-soo and Hayami. Interestingly, the cinematographer for Booning is the same as for Parasite, Hong Kyung-pyo, and we can see a similar use of natural light in both films to emphasize the themes of inequality. Hayami and Jung-soo are often represented in dark, overcrowded mise-en-scène as they ricochet from dead-end job to dead-end job, trying to make ends meet. The spaces Ben occupies, however, are saturated with open spaces and natural light, representing the freedom his financial position has given him. He tells us that he can go anywhere, do anything. He doesn't work necessarily, but plays. Lee and Hayami tread the line of this freedom through their association with Ben, being frequently represented at sunrise or sunset, but never break through into his world of opportunity. The most striking uses of metaphoric light revolve around Hayami. In a scene loaded with meaning, she tells Lee how her cramped little box room gets sunlight only once a day. Hayami is a mysterious figure who longs to find a greater purpose in life, but is held back by her position as a working-class woman. She is creative and passionate, but deep in credit card debt, struggling to find menial gig economy jobs. The dance of great hunger, which she has learned about on her trip to Africa, represents her desire for a more fulfilled existence. In perhaps the most striking scene of the movie, she does this dance at dusk, the sun symbolically setting on her dreams. The unspoken division between the characters is reinforced through the motif of glass. Glass consistently holds Jung-soo and Hayami back from the outer world and separates them from the wealthier characters. There's also a recurring use of mirrors, which represents the theme of deception that saturates the film. Motifs of glass and mirrors can also be spotted to the same effect in both Parasite and Sky Castle. All three heavily feature themes of deception, perhaps implying that this polarized social order pressures people into lies and deceit to survive. South Korean cinema uses the full arsenal of cinematic language to communicate its themes. The visual motifs of space, light, glass and mirrors in Sky Castle, Booning and Parasite subtly convey the themes of social polarization, aesthetically reinforcing the political message of the film's plots. South Korean films and television shows have found original and creative ways to communicate the country's social issues, transcending spoken language to achieve great success, not only at home, but far beyond as well.